Hello, hello, hello. Got another video for you today and I hope you enjoy.
All aboard!
Hello, got another video today, this time about railroad history. More importantly, we're talking about the Bellingham Bay and British Columbia Railroad. It was incorporated June 21st, 1883 in California. The track building didn't start until 1884 and ran along Railroad Avenue to hit Whatcom Creek. Then it headed towards Sumas. It didn't reach Sumas until 1881. Several weeks later, Canadian Pacific reached Sumas. Then Bellingham got its first continental train from east on the Canadian Pacific. But the train was late and the crowd got impatient, so the fire department decided to start a water fight. Right then and there, that is when the train showed up and the water fight caused a couple of breaking of some of the car windows and an international incident. Oops. Bellingham Bay and British Columbia Railroad kept building spurs. After that, by 1902, spur lines ran to Glacier and Linden. Another spur line headed east out Goshen, crossed the Nooksack River and the Canadian Pacific tracks in Deming, and ended up in Whatcom. For a while, they also had a McKean motor car that run on the railroad there. They called it the Goshen, after the native word for the name for Mount Baker. Pierce Cornwall was one of the owners of the Bellingham Bay and British Columbia Railroad. But in 1912, it was sold to Milwaukee Road and they renamed it to the Bellingham and Northern, only to drop the name a couple years later in 1918 and use the parent name Milwaukee Road. To the Milwaukee Road period. They used to barge the cars down to the Coma to go to the rest of their lines down there because they had no tracks leading from south from Bellingham down there. Milwaukee Road kept running in Bellingham until about 1980 when it went bankrupt. Then it was bought out by Burlington Northern to be taken over. Burlington Northern kept running the railroad for a while, but in the mid-80s some vandals burned down the Everson Bridge and they abandoned most of the line. The line to Linden is still active somewhat. They mostly just store cars on it at the moment. And those other lines are pretty much gone nowadays. And that is the end of the Milwaukee Road in Bellingham, Washington. This is what's left of the Milwaukee Road along Squaw Parkway. As you pay attention, you can see some of the railroad and this bridge here. That used to be part of the Milwaukee Road. Not much left. Burlington Northern abandoned this section of the railroad after it's been washed out in 2004 and never been used since. Some of it's being turned into the Mount Baker trail, but most of that has not been done yet. Only small little sections of the Mount Baker trail has been completed. for watching this video, and if you did enjoy, please hit the like and subscribe, and I'll probably see you next week.